Hans Wormhat, it's time somebody talked about this. The pangolin is not a real animal, it's a hoax. And it's one of the animals that they use to push wacky evolution, just like the platypus, just like the panda, and just like the koala, where they're going to give you a bunch of stories about how this thing has evolved in some way. And the pangolin is definitely one of those creatures, and it's just a hoax. It's not real. And this animal ties in, this fake animal ties in with the corona hoax. I just read some things that say that people have been playing around with the idea of, oh, it's a pangolin that did this COVID thing. I don't know. I read different things. Some people just said, oh, they thought that it was a pangolin at first. I read from other people or other articles, oh, well, they think that a pangolin gave it to a bat. How could they even figure out stuff like that? It's like how they tell you that firefighters can find a match in a forest fire and tell you, "Oh, it's arson because I found the match that started this thing." And it reminds me of how even for stories like Jack the Ripper, they're able to get new information and write new books about it, and they have all these details. If you look into Jack the Ripper, they have so many details about it. Like at 3:45 a.m., a stagecoach named so and so, and that's not how real life works. How could they possibly know that a pangolin is the source of this COVID thing? And they just like to intertwine their hoaxes. It reminds me of the London Bridge, the recent London Bridge hoax stabbing, how a narwhal tusk ended up being a part of it. It's a calling card. It's a way for people to know that it's BS, and also just to mock people, just to get more BS tied up in people's minds. Oh, we haven't talked about the pangolin hoax in a while. It's time to get a refresher and remind people of this fake animal. They seem to always be doing that pose. They have this weird thing with having just human boobs. Look at the CGI. Always doing they're covering their hand. It's the hidden hand. That's why they're always doing that. It's the hidden hand. Pangolins are supposed to be extremely, extremely rare, endangered. Chinese people are supposed to eat these things for a nasty reason, erectile things. So they make up these stories about it. Why are there so many studio quality, I mean, obvious CGI, not reality? Why are there so many studio quality images of something that's so endangered and rare? Who's getting all these photos? Just go type in pangolin, and there's so many photos. It's exactly the same thing with orangutans. What is up with all these? What is up with all these portraits, like studio quality lighting portraits of these animals? They're not real animals. They're. I mean, look at this. Is that a real animal? The texture on the pangolin. I mean, I don't know what you would call that armor shell. What is this thing? This looks like clay in this one, and in other ones it looks more shiny metallic. How do they have so many images like this? But look at that. That is CGI. Penguins may have passed coronavirus from bats to humans. They look so different all the time. Like what? This is just another thing about their hoax animals. When an animal is a hoax and people are just making up little puppets and everyone is just making their own little CGI, you get very different looking things. How is this a pangolin, but then this is also a pangolin? Same thing with koalas. Especially if you go back in time, koalas just look so drastically different. Like, why are these ones all matte and look like clay? But then a lot of times they give it more like a shine to it. Like this one looks like pine cone. That looks like a pine cone. Like somebody used a pine cone in Photoshop, turned it into an animal. That's what that is. That's a pine cone. This was on front page, top thing of Reddit. Baby pangolins always look like they're nervously trying to ask you something. It's just a hoax. It's not a real animal. Look at that. God bless everyone.